It's Renegades going up against FIBEON in this best of 7. Let's go over to the commentary desk with Wavepunk and Subi. Take it away, guys.
The beautiful Manfield Stadium, the European counterpart to DFH. You can see it's just as packed as DFH is. So yeah, everybody here excited to watch some great Rocket League. You can see Mount Cronovi looming over the top there in the distance. And I'm joined here by my friend Subi. This is a first. This is the first time.
This is a first time. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a great match here in store for you guys. FIBEON versus Renegades. Now, last time the desk predicted it completely across the table. They predicted Allegiance, and Allegiance got beat 4-1. So they all predicted FIBEON here, so I'm expecting the same thing to happen here with Renegades to win 4-1, right?
Sure, yeah. Why not?
I mean, maybe.
Not gonna happen.
It's honestly, like, this one feels significantly less close than the last one did. Like, Out of Style is a great team, and Allegiance is a team that had great moments, but then kind of had just lackluster performance actually as far as like the season goes and like winning all their games, actually pulling through. So this one though, FIBEON, you heard them on the desk. Renegades is on an 8-game losing streak. FIBEON lost 4 total games in lacrosse league play.
4 games, not series,
matches.
yeah, just games in total. And they were one of those teams that we thought were going to make it to the RLCS. And during the qualifiers, they didn't play too great, and they did drop to the rival series. And if you watched any of that, and any time that they were on the field, it was just like watching Cloud9 Junior. They play the small ball, they push the ball up the field, and they look for each other. They look for assists. You have the first, third, and fourth assist leaders on this team. Like, they are so hard to battle on the offensive end.
And it's the thing we saw a story in North America and in Europe, kind of the same story with Leftovers, now Fnatic, and FIBEON, of the teams that we expected to see in RLCS that had a last-minute upset and had to play through the RLRS, and they both went completely undefeated and are now here looking for revenge, looking to get back in. And there's still a possibility that FIBEON might at some point today play against Allegiance, the team that knocked them out, which would be absolutely crazy to watch. And we'll get to see the rematch from the European side tomorrow right off the bat. But here today, the first challenge for FIBEON is going to be Renegades, a team that's been in the league play, the RLCS, for the last 2 seasons, but it's just not quite delivered what they've been trying to get to. So we'll see if they can continue to keep that spot in RLCS. The first step here is to beat FIBEON, the reigning champs of the RLCS from North America. The game started off here, a best of 7 between these teams, just like the last one. Renegades in the blue, FIBEON in the orange. We'll see a bit of neutral ball here off of kickoff. Moses in the corner with the soft touch over Chicago. Dapper up, but he's not going to make contact, and Hato puts it in. FIBEON's already off to a quick start.
And just because FIBEON's in the RLRS doesn't mean that they're going to miss empty nets. Dapper missing the save in the box, not going to cut that, and Hato capitalizing beautifully.
He says, thank you, I'll just take that one, put it away. 17 seconds into the game. Now off of the kickoff here, Moses' shot barely blocked away by Hato, and Zol will look for the transition downfield. Chicago moves into the shooter role in the middle. The pinch goes up, Hato onto the backboard. Can he finish it off himself? Does not have the altitude, but the shot comes through from Zol off the corner. Chicago keeps it competitive, but no immediate shot opens up off of that second touch. And we'll see Renegades transition back out. A close one there, but they'll keep it at just a 1-goal game.
Yeah, Renegades counting their lucky stripes there because Moses took forever to get back on defense. FIBEON missing their mark there. Nice clear away from Chicago.
Ooh, Dapper with a shot. Zol will get the save, and Chicago with the transition. First minute going to come and go here. Still the 1 goal scored on the side of FIBEON. Renegades looking to see if they can tie it up here as we move forward. Timmy with a nice soft touch. Dapper into the corner now, an open net. If he can take the shot quickly here, does not get it in time, and Hato gets the block. Chicago actually will play it back onto his own backboard to block that inbound shot you saw fly over his shoulder here, and FIBEON will hold on to their lead for now.
Just poor shot placement from Dapper, and a great read from Hato coming in. Great pass upfield from Zol, and watch for this all game long. FIBEON's going to be looking for teammates up the field.
And Chicago and Zol with the pinch pass up to Hato 2. A beautiful read puts it through. 2 goals up now for FIBEON. 3:37 left on the clock. Again, a neutral kickoff. Won by Renegades, still at midfield. Chicago will carry it into the corner. Hato sits and waits patiently. He'll move in now, see if he can set it up for Chicago here. Crosses the net. Zol was sitting in the midfield, didn't move up. Chicago now drops it back. See Dapper over the top. Goes into the corner, will look for goalies, but not find any. Timmy up, we'll keep it in this orange corner here. Continues to play it back in. You see the FIBEON players try to clear it out, and then just move it right back in the same direction. They've kind of half-field ping-pong here between the teams. So they're just trying to get into the box, and we see FIBEON trying to get a clear. Demolition there from Moses. Give Timmy an opportunity, but he wasn't able to turn the ball around, and now he'll go for the ceiling play here. Gets the ceiling pass to Dapper, trying to take the shot, but Hado's got the read. Gets a savior medal for himself here right around halftime. And the Renegades running the whirlpool offense of the rotations, just constantly rotating people through, but we only saw one bump in goal, and that was a demo. They need to turn to that more. Try and throw FIBEON off their course. Moses onto the backboard. Chicago and Hado both up the pinch again. Go over and out to midfield. So Moses and Dapper falling back. Dapper picks it up, goes for the kill, takes it away from two players here. Both Hado and Chicago outplayed, but Zol was up, and he'll try to look for Hado. Doesn't find him. Chicago to the back corner. Looks for boost. Actually outpaced the boost respawn just a little bit there. They'll pick it up on rotation back down. Timmy now over the top of two, and he'll look to play it by himself. Ball stays in the corner. The Renegades still struggling to find any real semblance of offensive pressure here. So Moses will play it out to midfield, but he just loses ball control. Zol will be able to clear it again. Back into the corner. Timmy sits in net right now. He'll look to come out. Wins the 50-50, and it feels like to me that Timmy's been the most solid player so far in the 1v1 50-50 department, but it's not enough as a third goal goes in here for FIBEON. 1:25 left to go. Renegades has got to figure something out. Yeah, when you're showing exhaust pipes to your opponents, probably not a good defensive strategy. Can't go left, can't go right in Chicago. Putting that shot perfectly on net. FIBEON is playing this game exactly how they want to be with this lead. All they're doing is killing time with these long rotations, high shots, and long clears. Just holding on, not giving any opportunities here to Renegades. Dapper shot towards net is on target. Chicago will play it off to the side. Hado the clear over Moses. Followed himself. He's got Zol in the midfield to work with. Looks for the pass. Takes the shot. 4-0 here for FIBEON now. The final minute approaching. It's going to be FIBEON with a victory here in game number 1. Renegades at this point needing to start to think about game 2 and what they need to change. They need to change up their spacing, in my opinion. They're so spread apart. It looks like they're dissecting the field into thirds. And when you're on defense, you need to bunch up in your own zone to make sure you have someone in net at all times. Yeah, definitely. You talked about kind of the whirlpool style defensive rotations. Oh, in Chicago, a nice push underneath to put in the 5th goal. Pretty plays here towards the end, as you've seen. Just the Renegades again, like you said, kind of trapped, and there's only one player back. He's got no support here from Moses. Chicago was able to just bulldoze it straight through and put in the 5th goal. Yeah, and Chicago doing his best Fireburner impression, winning that 50-50 and showing you why he leads the RLCS in goals put on. Dapper's up. A goal here at the end of the game would be a nice confidence boost for Renegades to not get shut out cleanly. Game number 1. Remember, the best of 7's quite the marathon here. FIBEON has to do it 3 more times to be able to knock out Renegades, or knock them down to the lower bracket. Loser of this match will be facing off against Allegiance. And a loss in that match would knock you straight into the rival series the next season. As they will finish out the gameplay here again. Another goal for Renegades, or a goal for Renegades, would be a nice confidence booster moving into game 2. But at this point, starting to think about that game 2 plan, what they need to change up, what kind of adjustments they need to make on both offense and defense. Right now, the defense has been there-ish, and you talked about the changes they need to make of them. You know, maybe tightening it up a bit, not give each other as much space, because the space, again, oh, Timmy will get the save there at the last moment. The clock will expire. It will be the FIBEON victory. But what does Renegades really need to be doing differently on the offense right now? Because it felt like the ball never actually made it into the orange box here. Yeah, they just need to change things up. It was so easy to read what they're doing. They're constantly just putting the ball into the corner and waiting to hit it back into the corner or going to the opposite corner. It's just not something that FIBEON hasn't seen. They've seen all of this gameplay. They need to shake it up, and I want to stand by and say that Renegades
go for bumps, please. Go for demos. Shake up FIBEON and just put them on edge a little bit.
Yeah, I think that right now, as you said, we've seen a lot of clear play. They're doing a lot of just playing the ball straight into the corner, putting it into the corner, and just hoping that a player makes a mistake in the corner, because it's kind of the place where it's the most easy to make the mistakes. There's so many different angles for the ball to bounce off of. It's the most difficult to read. But right now, going from maybe more of a dribble out of your own half, go for the dribble transitions, because once the other team steals the ball from you, then you have a player who can either cherry pick or he can go for bumps, as your second player will be able to pick up ball control off of the tackle that the defending team had to make. So something like that might be a good choice here for Renegades right now. We'll see what they bring to the table, but they were just, they only had 6 shots to, what is this, 11 from FIBEON here, so nearly double the shots from FIBEON as they had so much ball control.
Well, and what's impressive to me is FIBEON had 6 saves to the 4 from Renegades here, and that's just going to show you that the shots, yeah, they were there, but they weren't difficult to put into the corner or put to a teammate. And FIBEON is so good with running with the ball up the field, putting the clear to a teammate, playing smart.
Right, and none of the shots from Renegades were super difficult to deal with on the defense. That's why you see those 6 saves coming through. So we will see, can Renegades bounce back here? Only down by 1 game. They'd love to tie it up here in game number 2, and we will now be on Manfield. No play in the shadow of Mount Cronovi. It's okay to reference a mountain twice.
Yeah, especially when it's really tall and it's very hard to climb up.
It's a real big one there. Chicago with a flick over the top. Takes into the box, will look to play it past Timmy, but he gets the block and sends it away. Dapper, the soft touch. Zoll will look for the read, puts it onto the backboard. Now Renegades just again punting towards the corner. Just trying to get himself space to sort themselves out, pick up boost and form good offensive positioning. Nobody really opting for anything that's giving them really significant ball control. A beautiful pass from Chicago to Hato, and it'll be blocked by Moses, but he's going to get back down. He's the only person back. Dapper will go up the wall as Moses regrounds himself. But the ball control is just not really there as this one just drops dead in front of Chicago. Zoll played into the corner. First minute going to come and go quietly, it feels like, for the first time in 6 games or so. That first minute has had a goal nearly every game today.
Yeah, and it leads to some pretty important implications. The first goal, generally the one that's going to win the match. And for me, Renegades, I want to see them, if they're going to continue with this cherry pick offense of trying to push the ball forward to a teammate downfield, I want to see that teammate downfield being Dapper. Let him use his 1v1 skills.
See Zoll here on the midline. Moses picks it up off his touch, and then they try to find Timmy, but interrupted by Chicago. So much awareness of where the Renegades players are and where you need to block FIBEON right now. Timmy in the corner loses out to Zoll, and Moses actually drops this one straight across his own net. Chicago was already looking for Dapper, who gets the transition out, and now Moses over the top of Hato. Dapper up. Zoll sent it away. Chicago shot towards net. Dapper misses. But he's able to play in the corner. Hato back into the box. Approaching halftime right now. Still scoreless in game 2. What has been the most defensive and slow game of the day. Zoll downfield, but again, the punts. Just moving the ball around, not really creating any good opportunities. Timmy misses this one. Dapper's clear goes straight up. Moses has to play this aside, and he does so before Zoll can make contact. Now Chicago out to Hato. The pass plays from FIBEON, always deadly. The clears come through from Renegades.
And that's the type of offense that you're going to see all day long from FIBEON. The short passing plays in mid, and the mistake coming out from Hato. Thankfully, didn't come back to bite them, but the pressure's not over as Timmy putting the shot on. Dapper cannot clean it up.
They're not able to quite put it through. A few good moments there. The best moments of offense we've seen from Renegades, starting with the fake for Moses and then the pass plays from his teammates, but still no goal to show for it. And when they get shut out 5-0 in game number 1, this first goal of the series really going to be very, very important for Renegades. You heard him on the desk, now on a 9-game losing streak. They'd love to break this. No one wants to be on a 10-game losing streak. That would just be awful.
Then you have no more fingers to count with.
Yeah, exactly. You start using toes and stuff. Oh, and Dapper puts it in. Nice fake play there. Moses will get the pass. I believe this was a fake from Dapper as he went up.
Yeah, he had the boost. It was all there, and he ran out at the last second. But, you know, either way, pull Chicago out. You've got to respect Dapper when he's in the air. And there it is. Renegades striking first. Let's see if they can get their first game in this series.
1:40 left to go, and a shot from Chicago blazing fast off of the corner, or off the wall. And you see FIBEON now up and on the offense, being aggressive again. Oh. The shot is just wide. Moses not making the best touches, and Zol will be able to steal it off of his hood. Dapper with a clear straight back down the field. It'll be that third man, the defender of Hato, able to get the next touch. Here comes Chicago, shot towards net. Moses with the save to the side. Dapper rotates in behind him, but Chicago keeps the pressure on, puts it back into the box. Zol shot blocked away by Dapper once more. Final minute of game 2 approaching. After dropping game number 1, Renegades would love to tie up the series here in game 2.
Don't count out FIBEON just yet, though. They're used to coming back when down, and Hato putting the shot on, but is wide. 50 seconds do remain. Plenty of time for FIBEON as they're only chasing 1.
Timmy wins the touch on the wall. That was past 2 FIBEON players. Chicago with the kill. Now the slow play, the flick over the top of 2, and the demolition onto Dapper. 3 players in the blue here for FIBEON, and they're making quick work of it to try and put it in the box. 30 seconds remaining here and still down by 1. Renegades trying to get that first win, but the pressure is on so heavily here, and Zol will play it past the defense. Tie game.
Oh, absolutely. Demolishing this 50-50 and dunking it in the net. Great read from him and great commitment to follow through on that shot. Dapper coming in from the side. Probably not the best contest. Probably should have let Moses handle that one.
It didn't even look like a 50-50. Just the way the ball just went straight into the net. And in Dapper's defense there, Moses is in such a rough spot, as FIBEON could shoot at the entire net. And now Renegades, after finally having been working so hard to get that first goal, they're going to have to do it again. But here it goes through with 10 seconds left on the long breakaway. Renegades has the lead again.
And right when you see Zol cross the midfield line, that's when the dunk comes through from Timmy, to put this all the way back into FIBEON zone. Anytime you see that last man back push forward past midfield, it's always dangerous.
Now can FIBEON do it in 10 seconds? With it being a 1-goal difference, they can play into 0-second time as long as they keep the ball off the ground. This one pinching across here. Chicago can keep it up. Zol's in a good position. He's got Hato to work with, but he doesn't make contact. And Renegades will end their losing streak here, getting a victory off of the breakaway there, 2-1 over FIBEON.
That's exactly what they need. Tie this series up, make it best of 5, give themselves a fighting chance. I'm just so glad that we get to see this Renegades team shine through and just not falter and not get swept.
Yes.
Honestly, I was worried about that. And it looks like we have a series on our hands.
Yeah, you want to see the good series. Yes. You know, it's sometimes it's fun, especially like as a fan of a team. You know, you love watching your team just be the best. You know, and so for the FIBEON fans, I'm sure they would love to see FIBEON just completely raffle stomp through this tournament. But as just a fan of the sport, you know, you want to see the even series here. And Renegades as a team, like all these guys are guys that they were at LAN in season 3, and we got to meet all of them. They're all such fantastic people there. I would love to see them be able to stay competitive here and possibly compete for that RLCS spot that they earned at the last qualifier. You know, it's one of those things, like you could easily have a situation here where both the RLCS teams just requalify for RLCS and we get to see them again. You know, that is how tight all these teams are right now.
Well, and for just a fan and just coming in from the rival series, it's like my heart's torn between both these teams because Dapper is one of my favorite players in the community. He's just an awesome person. You got to see the spotlight this week on him. He's just so down to earth and humble and just such a cool guy.
Yeah.
But then FIBEON, like the team that just swept through NA, my heart's torn, but I'm just glad we've got a series now.
It's okay. We're not allowed to be biased over here. We just have to have fun and cheer for everybody.
Everyone gets a trophy?
Everybody gets a trophy, including me. I'm not even playing. What a kickoff there by Chicago. All the way onto the backboard. A good touch by Dapper over the top of Zol, but Hato's still a threat. Sends a shot on net. It'll be gone off of the crossbar bounce. Chicago keeps the pressure on, putting it back into the blue box. Dapper now the clear. Moses follows along. Can't get second touch past Chicago, but Timmy's up. Over onto the side, it'll be Dapper out of net into the orange. And Timmy with a creative back pass here. Looks like Moses might have the read, but now Zol will get it over the top, sends it towards the box, and Timmy has to play it away. Chicago came screaming in to try and put it through. In the first minute here, another shot from Zol. He sent away. Both teams with scoring opportunities, but right now scoreless here.
And And on that push down, I honestly think Chicago was trying to get a bump on Timmy in mid-air to try and just open up the net. An easy shot. Moses turned away from Chicago. And first minute down, all tied up. We may have another game 2 on our hands.
Timmy to try and play it through the box. Yes, and again, the first minute will come and go without seeing any goals scored. It's 2 games in a row now. Dapper, nice soft touch, but Chicago's got the read. He'll say it bye. Send it back out to midfield. Moses now off the backboard. Dapper airborne. I'll go back into the corner here. Timmy now up. And onto the backboard once more. Chicago playing it out. And a lot of defense needed here by FIBEON. So the pressure's been on pretty consistently here by Renegades. And the shots they've been taking have not really been ever a threat of going in, but they're just enough to force the FIBEON defenders to play it away, to use a lot of boost, and to block them from being able to transition onto offense. So a good way of wearing out this FIBEON roster.
Just got to chip away little by little, and eventually they're going to break.
And eventually the mistake happens, and that's when you can score. Here comes Dapper, sending the shot towards net. Again, Chicago has to go up and block it, and Timmy's there with the read. Can he double tap this down and in? It goes off the ground. Both defenders up, and they're low on boost, you can tell, as they're not able to get out of there. Zoll will try to do the solo plays, but Dapper keeps it in the corner. Chicago with a clear. Timmy down to Moses. The transition straight back downfield. Moses does it by himself and gets it all the way onto the backboard. The shot was just wide of net, as he was worried more about getting it past the defenders than about putting it on target. And here finally, no, it goes off the post again. Just a little bit of accuracy, a struggle here. And what it has been difficult shots for Moses, but you need every goal you're given here against FIBEON. With 2:17 left to go, still scoreless.
They don't come easily, as we saw in the last match. Moses trying to catch us, bring it upfield. But one thing that I love about FIBEON is they play so well with low boost in their defensive end. You don't see any panic from them, and the communication is always on point from them.
Timmy pass 2. Sato in the back, and he'll get the clear. Moses now out to midfield. Zoll will just try to carry this by himself, keep himself very close to the ball, maintain ball control. Wins the 50-50 with Dapper on the wall. The ball will now be in the blue corner, going towards the box. It's Dapper with speed out to midfield. Now Timmy trying to play it over the top of Zoll to drop back down, and Dapper over to the side. 1 minute and 30 remaining. Dapper with the back pass, and Moses gets it past Chicago, and a nice flick over the top of Hato. Timmy's up, but doesn't have the altitude. It'll drop back down, and now Zoll off to the races with the dribbles. He'll try to flick very early here, but Dapper had waited him out. His 1v1 skills coming into play.
You know what's interesting? Both these teams right now are tied on shots. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like Renegades has been out-shooting them all match, but somehow FIBEON's still able to find them just like that, but the bar.
Hato Kazil, he'll finally be able to put it through the defenders. He just waited just long enough to see where they were going to go and then put the ball where they weren't here. Beautiful plays there by Hato, and FIBEON's got the lead.
Just a good read of his opponent, seeing both crashing exactly in the middle of the goal. Nice shot placement, going upper left corner, giving them the lead in another easy one going in.
Put it in. He does put it in off of the bounce there. Quickly off of kickoff, we'll see FIBEON get back out to a 2-goal lead right now. And what was still a very competitive game, now much more difficult for Renegades. It's that 2-goal margin, just so much more difficult to come back from because you can't use that 0-second time.
And just a split-second mistake, last man back got caught in no man's land, and just like that, Hato capitalizes on that.
2 players up, nobody making contact. Hato try to play it through, and Renegades now with their backs against the wall in game 3. After getting the win in game 2, now they'd love to be able to take the lead here in the series. Moses over the top of 2, puts it into the box, and Dapper was kind of shadowing instead of preparing for the pass. That'll slow down their offense just a bit here. 30 seconds remaining again. He'll follow across it this time, puts it through. 2nd goal of the series at this point, or 3rd goal of the series rather, for Renegades. They need 1 more here in this game 3.
And just like we were talking about earlier in the match, chopping down the defense, chipping away at them, and they did exactly that, forcing FIBEON into a mistake. They had 0 boost, couldn't get up high enough. Under 30 seconds, 1 goal to go. Renegades need this right now.
They can just keep the ball in the air. They can play indefinitely. But you know, they just like to be able to put it through, and they'd love to finish it off in regulation here. Now 10 seconds remaining. Ball in a good place here for Renegades, but they got to win their 50-50s. This one drops down. They got to put on pressure as well. Zol uncontested onto the backboard. Could possibly double tap this down. Put so much speed onto it. Timmy plays it off to the side, but they're going to need full boost, and they're going to need the full court carry here to get this one all the way down. They're not going to be able to get it as the ball outpaces them. FIBEON winning game 3.
I love it. It's so fun to watch these boys play because at any moment they can just break out. It looked like they were a little rusty, a little slow to the ball, and then all of a sudden, Hato coming in, and you know, you're used to Chicago putting on the shots on net, getting all of the goals. He only had 1 in this game, and his teammates step up and carry him to victory. It's just a beautiful team to watch.
It was interesting the way things kind of changed there towards the last moment as FIBEON was able to gain so much more ball control. I mean, you said it about, you know, halfway or kind of 2/3 of the way through the game that the teams were even on shots, and it was at about 4 shots, and here we see at the end 9 from FIBEON and only 1 more from Renegades as they ended with 5 there. So Renegades definitely putting on work, especially at the beginning, and I feel like if you want to look back in, like, at what point did Renegades kind of lose that game? The places where Moses had the goal opportunities. He had 2 different opportunities kind of back-to-back where he could have put a goal in, and that would have been the difference maker here in the game, but it doesn't happen here, and FIBEON's able to finish it off.
Yeah, you got that quick beat on the last defender, and then it hit the bottom of the wall where it rolls up, and it just went straight up, and it's like you can't really do much, especially if you've already used a lot of your boost to beat that last man back. So it's just kind of like floating in midair, and what are you going to do? But it's just, they need to play for the marathon. They're really fast off kickoff. The first half is great, but then they're falling off in the second half. They need to just think this is a marathon.
Well, here now in game 4, FIBEON with the 1-goal lead, or the 1-game lead rather. They will have to do it 2 more times. They want to be able to get that victory and move into the qualifying match in the upper bracket. The best part about making it into that upper bracket is you get 2 shots to qualify. Hato with a shot here off a kickoff. Dapper gets the save, but Hato says not today, bud, and puts it through anyways.
Puts the change-up shot on net and realizes it, follows his shot, and dunks Dapper at the last second. Just a beautiful display of 1v1 skills right there.
It was, he made the touch, and you watched both players immediately adjust. It was really pretty to watch there as Hato gets the first goal here for FIBEON. As I was saying, if you make it into this upper bracket qualifying match and you lose that match, you immediately get put into the qualifying match in the lower bracket. So everything to play for here in these round 1 games. It's Moses, Dapper, and Timmy. The 1, 2, and 3 right now for Renegades. Moses will fall back. Timmy moves up. Dapper lurking at the midfield. Zol will keep it off to the side and be able to play it past him. Defensive rotation has to be there. Dapper gets the block pass too, but he punts it very high. Won't be able to transition. Right now, this corner spelling death right now for Renegades. It's just spending so much time here, and their defense is getting a bit of muck. But finally, the breakaway there from Dapper. Can it go all the way? Yes, it does. Look at him play it all the way from his corner and tie up the game.
Well, look at FIBEON's defense. Hato pushes up because Moses gets a little cheeky bump on him, and it's wide open. Dapper just has to put that shot on in between the dotted lines, and it is a goal to tie this up at 3 minutes, 59 seconds.
Sends it down into the ball. You had basically all 6 players in that corner with the ball, which when it's all 3 from one team, from the defensive team, that's usually terrible for them. But when all 3 of the offensive players move up, all it takes is that 1 clear from Dapper, and they've got a tie game here. Moses' shot on net a bit soft. Timmy's follow-up will be blocked by Zol. Now Dapper out to Timmy. Up onto the wall. Chicago soft touch again. Moses moves over. A pinch out. Chicago will add some speed to it. Send it towards the net. Timmy's got the transitional clear. Now Dapper to Timmy. Shot on net. Straight downtown. Puts it through, and Renegades has the lead.
And just breaking down on defense once again is FIBEON. You see the last man back, Chicago, start to go forward, turn back around, and he goes the long route, taking himself away from center of net. And there it is, Renegades with the lead once again. Let's see if they can get this and carry themselves to victory.
See if they can hold on to it there. It definitely looked like Chicago did not see Timmy in the midfield, who had that blazing fast pass shot. And now 3:12 left to go. Renegades, their 2nd lead, maybe their 3rd lead of the series. Zol shot the upper side. This one goes through, but just a nice roller, and this will be a back pass from Zol into the corner. Chicago moves up. They're Able to get past one, rolls it off the wall. Now Zol to Chicago again. Hato's been just hanging in the cherry pick. He's just been spending more time in the blue than he has in his own half. Zol now to Hato. Shot on net is high. Chicago could possibly finish it off. He puts it back into the box and Zol's up, but Timmy will be there first, sends it away, and Moses will look to transition it back out. A lot of space given here by FIBEON. Dapper and Moses, neither making contact, but they'll be able to move it all the way into the corner. Now Chicago to Timmy. Past halftime here in game 4. Hato to drop back to Chicago again. Soft touch over the top of 2. Zol up, and they'll be able to possibly double tap this one down, but blocked out by Dapper. Chicago will finish it off. The plays on the defense were nearly there, but the pressure from FIBEON pays off.
And Chicago snuck in through that back door. Timmy had no clue he was even there. Puts the shot on beautifully, tying this game back up. And Moses needs to get on the same page as the Renegades. Right now, looks like, yeah, he's in the same book, but he's not reading the same page, and they're just not vibing together.
Oh, Chicago to Hato. They should be able to add pace to this, but Timmy will play it away in time. Get that one out, keep the lead from going over to Renegades. Or over to FIBEON, rather. Renegades trying to get the lead back here. They'll have to score once more. Goals have been few and far between. Hato up to try and drop this one down into the box again. Chicago's there. Just can he play this one? It's still in such a dangerous place, but Moses will play it away. Gets it out. Now looking for the transition. Over the top of 2, but wide of the net. Dapper's up, drops it back in. But again, goes wide on the other side. Moses up with the shot. A bit high again, but it forces Hato up. Ball dropping down in the corner. Dapper shot, upper 90. Does it go through? It bounces, crossbar posted in. Lead back in Renegades' favor here with 1:11 left to play.
And right now we're seeing power versus finesse. Dapper with the nice soft touch going all the way opposite upper 90, bar down. And so far, the power is not equating to the finesse of the Renegades.
This game has been the best showing we've seen from Renegades so far. They've been able to hold on and consistently fight back and get that 1-goal lead again. Now the ball back in the box, final minute here of game 4. Hato up, he'll play it into the corner. Dapper follows along over the top of 2. Shot is just wide. Timmy comes up to try and drop it here off the ceiling. Plays it over the top of Moses. A bit of confusion there on the Renegades offense. Now Zol looking for the transition. Looking for Chicago, only down by 1. You can play into 0-second time here. And Chicago out of his own half. Try and get it out of the box. Passes over to Zol, but the 50-50s right now in Renegades' favor. They're just continuously putting this ball back into the corners, not really caring where the ball goes as long as it goes in generally their direction. And as the final countdown happens, this one back into the box. Hato will save it initially here. Moses tangled up in the net, which will weaken the back line. Chicago can get this one out, and Zol can get some pace onto this. He carried over the top of Timmy. There's Dapper. He'll put it down into the ground, and Renegades wins their second game, tying it up here. And a good performance here from Renegades right now. Up until this game, in the first 3 games, they were outscored 8-3. They had only gotten 3 goals to 8 from FIBEON, but here they'll move it back up to 6-10, so making it a much more competitive game. Definitely the best performance we saw from them so far.
Smarter play in the defensive end equated to a lot more offense from them. The ability to push the ball forward, find teammates, and Dapper and Timmy working so well together. And if Moses can get involved, it seems like he's trying to force himself into the party, kind of like, hey guys, I'm here. And it's like, he needs to just be calm and cool, and when the ball gets to him, then make a shot. He's just trying to force too much. I want to see him get involved, though, and I really think if he does, Renegades is not going to be able to be stopped by FIBEON.
I think you maybe even like opting for the rotational 3 role of just like sitting in the back, because right now it doesn't feel like he's fitting in the offense, and also the few opportunities he's getting to shoot have just always been high, always been wide. He's not making accurate shots right now, not making threatening shots, and even if in situations where it's like it looks like maybe he's opting for the pass, there's never a shooter up for him. So whatever the decisions he's making in the offense are not really favoring Renegades. So possibly opting for more of the rotational sweep sweeper anchor role might be a good solution for them, but they're able to get the victory there, able to put it together and find the ways to make the goals happen. They were outshot 12-8, but yet still came out with the victory. Strong back line and making the goals happen. Going to keep Renegades competitive here as we're all tied up.
I want to see Dapper away from that 3 position, that last man back. It's just, you see him too many times back there waiting in the defensive zone. He's too dangerous to be back there.
Well, you saw they're right there off of kickoff. Dapper goes, and then both Timmy and Moses kind of move in towards the ball. When Moses was far away, it was definitely Timmy that was next in the rotation. So just needing to get on the same page rotationally.
Oh,
however,
yes.
It works. A nice demolition there by Moses. And this is something you commented on a few games ago that Renegades really could use. It's just to get up and be physical against FIBEON. It's the best way to break up a rotation.
Well, because a lot of the times when you're watching FIBEON, you'll notice in their defensive rotation, whoever's putting the contest on ball, right after the contest, they immediately go forward looking at the net, hoping that a teammate's going to be able to clear the ball to them. So if you can take the goalie away, it's just opening up your zone so much.
Zol have to get the block. His Dapper shot was on target. Timmy keeps the pressure on, drops a nice soft one again, and this one just lofted up. Can he get the pass down to Dapper? It's there, and the shot comes through. Renegades with a good play, and we'll have a goal in the first minute again.
Nobody put a check on Dapper. He was the last man back, but he did not care. He pushes forward, trusting that Timmy's going to hit him beautifully in the top of the box, right in the paint, firing that shot on net, giving them the first goal of this game.
They'll be able to hold on to this for now. See if they can extend their lead. Ball comes back down. Hato and Zol trying to work together on the offense. Dapper now up. Puts it into the orange corner. And Moses looking for an opportunity to move up. We'll play this one slowly. And then the pitch goes back towards Timmy. He'll put it into the corner with Dapper right behind him. Moses rotates. Timmy right now trying to do it all by himself. Zol's touch will drop right back down, and Dapper takes another shot. It's halfway in. Can they force it through? No. Chicago, a beautiful play. He just goes up and sits behind the ball so that Moses will play the ball off of him and it bounces out. Beautiful defense there. FIBEON's able to hold on, but not for long, as finally Timmy puts it through.
Really, all of that for nothing? That save was so amazing. The ball was a pixel away from going in, but they didn't let up pressure, forcing FIBEON into mistakes, and there it is. Renegades with their second goal. FIBEON already 5 saves on the board.
I believe that is their second game in a row that we've seen Renegades get a 2-goal lead. They won last game as well. So they can hold on to it here. Zol looking for the carry. He'll just put it past all by himself. Brilliant play from Zol.
Rockabye, baby. And Zol just gently carrying this all the way into the goal, going over Dapper. Just doing it with style. Not much to say other than beautiful skills on display.
3:14 left to go. FIBEON coming right back into this game, making it a 1-goal game. Pin from Moses down. It's about the best pass I've seen from him today. The defense was able to be there. The pressure's still on from Renegades, as it kind of has been all of this game 5. Now Dapper across the field here. Zol makes a soft touch that puts it out to midfield. Moses up. Dapper gets a demo onto one. He looks for Hato as well. Still just chasing him down, looking for that demolition. Doesn't find him, and Hato's able to get a transition out. Moses will shut it down at the quarter field, but Chicago now in the corner. Holding on to ball control here as we approach halftime. Still the 1-goal lead for Renegades. But FIBEON really starting to heat up here.
Oh no, again, Hato pushing too far forward. He needs to be very aware that every time he's pushed forward past that midfield line, FIBEON has gotten scored on. Play extremely carefully in this last half.
Chicago out to Zol. And Dapper to win up towards Timmy. Chicago tries to play it out. The ball's still in the box. Zol will get it away. As Moses tries to play it back in, Timmy's just sitting in the orange box. Nearly gets the dunk in. Can't get it through Hato. And the midfield pressure coming through right now heavily from Renegades.
I was just about to comment on that, how FIBEON the last 2 games has not been able to control the midfield whatsoever, but here they come breaking out super fast, but a good contest there from Moses, put that ball into his own corner, and once again, the Renegades are going to push downfield into the offensive zone.
All right, they have a cherry picker in Timmy. I think he goes for the boost starves and leaves. Dapper up, 2 players up there for FIBEON. If Timmy can get this one downfield quickly and past Chicago, good read there by Chicago just to kill it. The ball will still make its way downfield quickly, and Timmy in the cherry pick. He hung up, he knew he had the opportunity, and he finds the angle.
Dapper and Moses combining forces to get this ball all the way down to Timmy, and no one home for FIBEON. Again, the 2-goal lead for Renegades. Let's see if they can hold on tight.
And it all started with that double commitment on the offense from FIBEON that lofted them both very high, and it just put them so out of position that even after the initial quick transition didn't work for Renegades, they were able to get that pitch cherry pick shot. Now Dapper and Timmy trying to work to give them an even more substantial lead. Zol moves this one down. Dapper falls back to net. Timmy with the block. Now Dapper out towards Moses. He'll go up. Play this one back down towards the FIBEON half. He's now on the cherry pick. Look to block out Hato. Just keeps the pressure on at midfield again. In this final minute, down by 2, FIBEON really needs to start making it work. So Timmy gets a pass to 1. Zol's touch is soft, and Dapper's right there onto the backboard. Lofting it up here can buy a lot of time, especially when players miss. And in the final 30 seconds, Chicago demolished in the midfield. It's all up to Hato and Zol in the back line while their teammate respawns. Dapper pass 2, and Chicago will look for the clear. They have to make the goal happen basically now. As the timer is going by and there's just not even pressure, the carry there by Timmy to get it past Chicago. Final countdown happening. Renegades looking the best they have all series. They are taking their time. They're making use of the fact that this is a best of 7 and using that time, the extra time they have to ramp up into this. They'll now take the lead in the series.
You know, FIBEON not controlling the midfield is the entire reason these games are not going in their favor. They can't get the ball out of their zone. Their clears are errant. They're not finding teammates, and they're just putting the ball right back to the Renegades to just like, here you go, keep your offense up.
Yeah, and we're seeing Timmy and Dapper in particular really make a lot of work here. And I think Moses did start to opt for a little bit more of just a rotational role. You know, go for the plays that don't give him necessarily points on the scoreboard, but still are effective for his teammates, and just allow Dapper and Timmy to do the things they do. The beautiful, that final goal that clinched it, where we saw Timmy be able to move the ball up and then just fly down the field and allow Dapper and Moses to pinch it up to him, is a beautiful decision there, securing the victory here for Renegades.
Well, you have to have that at the top level of gameplay, faith and trust in your teammates. Without that, you are not going to make it as a team in the RLCS. Even the RLRS, you saw those teams drop out, and they're going to have to go through the promotion again. But these teams showing you that the trust and faith is real, and you know, as long as you have the commitment to one another, hey, you know what, you go upfield. I got you.
And this is one of the biggest shot differentials we've seen in a game yet, 10-2. Only 2 shots from FIBEON as they really struggled to make anything happen there in Game 5. So as we move into Game 6, the adjustments are on FIBEON. They have to make the adjustments here. And you talked about that midfield. I think that's the biggest thing they need to focus on first off. See if they can get some offensive siege going, build up those shots again, force Renegades to make mistakes on the defense. They're only down by 1 game in the series, but this is match point. If Renegades wins this one, they move in to the upper bracket qualifying match.
And if they win, they make our desk wrong 2 times in a row.
2 times in a row. How funny would that be? I don't have to sit on the desk, so I can just say mean things.
Bully.
Just a meanie look at Chicago here. Over the top of the defenders. A good start here for FIBEON. Let's look at the first goal in.
Yeah, chipping the ball upfield. Little tiny hits, good contests, and then Chicago getting up a second before the double commit comes up from Renegades, but no other option available to them. They just can't get the touch on the ball, and FIBEON with the first goal.
And that first minute as well. We'll see if they can hold on to it here. They've scored 3 goals in the last 2 games to the 6 from Renegades. This is a good start. I believe so far today, I might be wrong about this, but I believe that so far today, the first goal has always won. A common trend in Rocket League.
I know that was true in our first series of the day. I'm not sure about this one. I haven't been paying too much attention to the first implications.
We'll see. I'm sure somebody is already correcting us in chat if that is not true. But you know, it's fun either way. Dapper and Timmy to play this one back out. Moses up in the 1 roll. He'll wait for the touch from Chicago. Sends a shot towards net. Dapper's up to try and drop it down, but just can't sneak it under the crossbar. Now Chicago looking for that transition. Can he get it past Timmy? No. The clear comes through all the way down, and he gets the midfield boost too. He might be able to make work with this. Moses is up, keep it competitive, bounces it off the ceiling, back down into the box. That bounce off the ceiling bought enough time for Zol to move up, and now he's going to try and take a shot through. Dapper and Moses up again. Try and play this one down. Hado's up. The shot is just wide of the net. He had the net right there for the taking, but it goes away.
He was up so fast. The defenders were down on the ground 2 seconds after that, and the short little chip, again, the accuracy is plaguing FIBEON, but they're still holding tight to that 1-goal lead.
Moses to Timmy, shot towards net, and he can't get the clear, tying up the game here.
Just bad rotation back on defense. You see Chicago, thinks boost, then doesn't get it, and just caught in the no man's land without much boost to work with, and puts the ball in himself.
Both he and Zol going for that side corner boost there. That just opened up all that space. Now with 3:03 left on the clock here, and on match point, FIBEON needing to get the lead back and force a game 7. Moses up on the wall. This one will drop back down. Timmy sits in net while Hado takes the shot, and he takes it straight at Timmy. Such speed that it goes in, and it doesn't matter what Timmy does.
Yeah, he saw Timmy sitting back in net as he was reversing. So he goes forward, and right when he tries to hit the ball, it's already exploded. Just like that, again, FIBEON with the lead. They're starting to get their offense back, starting to feel their groove, and really trusting in each other. You can see the communication is on point right now.
Dapper over the top of 2. Game's a demolition. Now Moses trying to play it out. Zol to Chicago. The passes come through, but the shot is wide. Timmy will get the clear. Hado's up, but there's a soft touch down, and Zol's right there. 50-50 by Dapper will eliminate 2 players, and then Chicago actually misses. This is a good opportunity, but Timmy going to miss on the wall. And I'll break up the pressure they were starting to build. Good touch by Moses. Chicago will get the clear before Dapper can take the shot. Oh, baby. Now Hado looking for the fake. Dapper's got him. Moses in the box with the clear upwards. Hado's there. Timmy will carry it over the top. Back and forth down the field right now. Both teams just trying to break out, trying to find those goals. And you know, one more for FIBEON would make them feel a lot more secure about the chances of game 7, but Renegades only 1 goal away from tying it up right now.
Well, and it's going to be hard to get through this defense. They're playing so spaced apart. They realize they're up by 1. As long as they hold on to this lead, they're going to secure this and get to the next match. Just don't allow the ball into your own net.
Chicago into the corner with Moses. Gets it over the top, and Timmy nearly is able to redirect it. But it'll still bounce around into a dangerous spot here. Timmy will send the shot on net as it drew out the defenders, and a tie game in game 6.
Moses parting the orange seas here, getting rid of Hado. Nobody home, and Timmy reads it beautifully. Puts it far post so nobody can get that. Ties this game up right near the 1-minute mark.
Now 1:18 left to go in game 6. And FIBEON, their backs against the wall. They have to score. Have to make this happen. And the bounce there, Dapper will actually bring in Hado. Chicago puts it back into the box, and Timmy will get a nice soft touch, but Zol is there to try and drop it back into the box. Moses is up and plays it away before Chicago could completely slam it home. Timmy and Dapper both up, and this leaves a wide open net. Can Zol make the shot happen? Timmy was able to reground himself, but Moses with the double commit. The defense just holding on barely right now from Renegades. So there's been a few mistakes, but so far they've been able to avoid that lead-giving goal. Dapper has to play this one away. The ball has been spent all its time on this back wall for like the last 20 seconds or so, and we're in the final minute here. Finally, it makes its way out to midfield, and Moses will be able to pinch it over towards the orange box. A miss from Chicago. Open up a bit of space. Finally, a moment to breathe here for Renegades. They've slowly gotten the ball all the way towards the back wall. Zol is up. Timmy takes a shot, but Chicago has the save. 18 seconds remaining, and it's all tied up right now in game 6. The pass here is Chicago and Hado meeting up. Zol will take the final shot, and it's high. Does anybody have the boost to get up for it? No, they all fall back. And now Timmy, the redirect on the transition. Cleared away by Hado. Dapper keeps it up and competitive, but Chicago will try and play it over to the side. Hado will try to take one last shot, but he's not there. Overtime in game 6.
Looked like FIBEON's okay with the reset. Let's put that ball back in midfield and get going because they are so good on kickoffs, as you see.
Zol nearly does it all by himself. But the next goal, winning the game, And for Renegades, it would send them straight to the upper bracket qualifying match. Timmy goes for the save, the fake plays, and Dapper can possibly put it in by himself, but Zol sends it out. Moses on the back, hesitating for a moment, but then putting it back into the box. Chicago down the field, Dapper had fallen back, and he'll be able to get the clear away. As the ball spends some time in the air, both teams trying to resituate. Moses down the field. He's been so quiet on the offense. If there's ever a time to come alive, it's right now. Dapper on the back wall. Nobody made contact, but Hato gets the second touch. Now Moses with Timmy to work with. Chicago on the interference. Dapper up and gets it over the top of two. It's just Chicago in the back, and he looks for the bump on him, trying to open up space there. Moses keeps it competitive, but not enough to send it on target. Now it's Dapper at the midfield. Moved into the corner. Moses is there as well. So lobbed it across. Timmy thought about going, and he'll go up a little bit later here. Going into the corner. Chicago now with Zol to work with. They don't make contact. First minute coming and going. Still quiet here. And nobody getting able to get the upper hand.
Oh, the shot's still coming on, though. Timmy putting that up high, and Zol, not the greatest of hits. Hato does get this down the field. Renegades looking to keep this pressure on as FIBEON can't breathe at the moment.
Dapper under the wall. No real offensive positioning right now for Renegades. They just move up slowly one by one. Moses just kind of lurking at the midfield, and this ball going back across. Hato will move up, but Timmy gets there first. Zol off the back wall. Chicago looking for the shot downfield. It's a bit high. I'll need some help as it drops back down. Zol looks for it, but can't find it. Nobody in the back right now. It's just Dapper. He'll buy time for Moses, who's able to get the clear back into the corner. Important plays there for Renegades as FIBEON just looking for that game 7. 2 minutes into overtime now. You know FIBEON does not want to have to play in the bottom bracket. Renegades taking their time. Play over the top. This one dropping down in front of the net. Takes the shot, and Hato gets the block. Keeping FIBEON alive here in the upper bracket.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting my exercise today just by sitting down. My heart rate is through the roof right now. Chicago looking for Hato, but sent away.
And the idea was right there, but the defense holds for Renegades. And now competitively back up and in the orange. Zol to play it away out to midfield. Hato following. Dapper up towards Timmy. Chicago will be there first. But the soft touch will be picked up by Zol. Now through two, Dapper's up over the top. A good opportunity. There's only one defender in the back in Chicago, and he lofts it high. Moses falls back. Timmy will be in the best position defensively here. Rotates around Moses in the corner. Timmy plays it away. 3 minutes now of overtime.
FIBEON starting to push further and further into the offensive zone. I really hope that doesn't come to spell disaster for them.
Zol into the corner. You said it, that we've seen Renegades score a number of times on just long breakaways because of an over-aggressive FIBEON. You'd hate to see that be why they lose this series here. The bumps on Chicago. He looks for Zol next and just boots him into Narnia. Moses in the corner just trying to buy an opportunity for Timmy, but he doesn't find it. Timmy will try to look for it himself here now. Play it off the wall. Zol to play it down. Dapper in the back will keep the pressure on. As we approach the 4-minute mark, these teams so evenly matched right now.
Oh, but it's not over. Chicago looking for the cheeky angle. Can't find it, but it just seems like FIBEON's chances.
Oh, it goes out. Timmy gets it away. The ball was half in. He pitches it off the crossbar and back away. They'll keep it going as we roll into the 4th minute.
Oh my goodness. FIBEON is starting to ramp up their aggression, and all 3 members putting shots on. The shot count is insane right now. 18 for FIBEON, only 12 for Renegades.
I believe the shot record is 33 in a game. So we're 3 away from that right now. Hato, the loft. Moses to play it away. Timmy now downfield towards the net. Zol over to the side. Dapper to put it into the box. Can he finish this off himself? He does. Slams it home, and in 4 minutes and 38 seconds of overtime, Renegades qualifies for the qualifying match.
Spins the defender around Chicago. Doesn't know how to get to that ball. Maybe a half flip would have worked better in the defensive zone, but Dapper, one of the best 1v1 players, showing you why and carrying his team into that upper bracket, like you said.
Well played, and as you said, Desk wrong twice here. Now, at this point, why do we even do predictions? You know, know, it's just such a difficult one to play. And this series started off with a 5-0 victory from FIBEON. They looked so dominant in that first game. But as we move forward here, I kind of want to do the math here. This is 13 goals from FIBEON total on 9, 10, 12. 12, they actually outscored, because that first game they outscored Renegades by 1 goal. They scored 13, but 12 there from Renegades as they come out with the victory. What a play.
Well, and I told you, FIBEON's going to put a ton of shots on and a ton of goals on. So it just seemed like Renegades knew that, and they matched it and just carried themselves through. And Dapper shining in the one moment he needed to shine. Forget the RLCS. It doesn't matter. You know, he played poorly this season, but in the end, coming through when it did matter.
Absolutely. Well done here to Renegades as they give themselves 2 opportunities to qualify back into RLCS. They'll have one, the next 2 matches, both their next 2 matches, if they have 2. They could do it in just the one. They can maybe just have 2 matches today. Who knows what's going to happen? This has been exciting. Everything's getting turned upside down. Anything can happen here in the promotion tournament. We'll send it back to the desk for now.
Oh man, what a series there. Renegades able to pull it through there over FIBEON. We all thought FIBEON would take it through, and that last game could not have been any more intense, you know, over 4 minutes of overtime, but Renegades able to pull it through and advance to the next match. Let's take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance replay. FIBEON gonna drop down. They're gonna have to play Allegiance, but it's going to be Renegades against Out of Style, and we're gonna find out the first team of these 4 to advance to next season.
This is such a surprising result because we knew, yeah, they have 3 weeks to practice, but we've been hearing rumors of a lot of turmoil with the Renegades with their practice schedule for this past 3 weeks. So to see them come out and play this well shows really well for them. At the same time for FIBEON, again, the offense on both sides, really. It was 6 games. They both averaged basically 2 goals a game, 12 goals to 13. Not the most offense in the world, and that's a problem for FIBEON. It seems like when they struggle on the offensive side, same like in the play-in, they fail to advance.
Right. And what surprised me the most was FIBEON actually started the series off very, very well. Lots of infield passing and punishing a lot of the hard touches coming from Renegades, and you just saw so much success. We saw that in 6 goals or something like that. That was incredible. But as the series progressed, it seemed that Renegades got more and more comfortable, kind of found their rhythm a little bit, and they were able to really control the game. And we saw Chicago, especially someone who's known for being so dominant in the RLCS, struggle in those last couple of games. It just didn't work out for them.
So we saw in game 1, like FIBEON scores 5 goals. After that, didn't score more than 2 in a game. And really, the only other game they won was that game 3 that Renegades controlled the first 4 minutes. And then it was just a couple quick, like a face-off goal and a counterattack goal that gave FIBEON the win. So this series could have been even more in the favor of Renegades, except for that long overtime. Obviously, they played pretty close there. But for FIBEON, they have to pick up the pieces. They get to play Allegiance now, the rematch of who knocked them out last time. And you know for sure they do not want to be knocked out again from the same exact team.
Yeah, you're right. That's a rematch from the play-in for this past season of RLCS, and that's coming up next. But, you know, Renegades, honestly, a pleasant surprise from my end. You know, after watching Game 1, how dominant FIBEON looked. Like, all right, well, I guess it's kind of what we expected. FIBEON playing so well in the rival series, they should just coast on through here, right? Wrong. Renegades actually rising up and stepping up to the occasion. And looking forward, what do we need to see FIBEON kind of figure out? Because, you know, part of that may be a surprise, just a surprise from Renegades, as far as from FIBEON's perspective. Like, wait, we didn't necessarily expect them to be able to keep up after that first game. But now that that's all out of the way, FIBEON, they're against the wall now. For them to keep their hopes alive, what do they need to hold on to change up, to push through against Allegiance and ultimately try to make it in?
It's going to be tough because they're going to have to worry about, like, hey, we just lost it. It's the first time they've lost. They didn't lose at all during the rival series, so they have to figure out how to play after losing. And I think that could be very difficult. They play again, I believe, right now, like right after this. So that might help them that they don't have enough time to worry about the loss, that they just get right back into it. But I think Chicago has to stop with those mistakes. He has some great plays, but then on the defensive side, once in a while, it just seems like some very odd plays where he's out of position and giving up free goals. It seems like he's trying to do a little too much for his team.
I would agree with you. I don't think that they're looking for each other. The team is not like really trying to pass to each other to clear the ball. Not nearly enough. And you saw Dapper actually had so many more opportunities to score in that last series. FIBEON was not in as good of a position as it looked, and they still lost. So I think FIBEON's really going to have to work on their passing, controlling possession of the ball, or they're going to have a lot of trouble with this next series.
And I really think those long overtimes are very key as well. Can you hold that composure? We saw the end of that game. Honestly, not the most flashy highlight goal to end that. Chicago kind of messed up on defense and wasn't really in the right position. So I think it's a really big testament to a good team if you can hold it together in overtime and play how you should play. But we got to take a quick break here. When we come back, we got to knock a team out. We're going to find out the first team who's going to the Rival Series next season. Is it Allegiance? Is it FIBEON? A best of 7 to stay alive in this promotion tournament coming up next.